What's going on, my peeps, my folks, all that kind of stuff? Anyway, hey, I want to kind of address something that Jenna brought up, and actually, this is a really good thing. Although it's kind of a pain, it's a good thing. I need to switch up my curriculum. I know that we're using Program Arcade games, and I know that you guys were probably going to be pretty excited about that. The problem is, for all them Mac users out there, which there's about 6 of you, it's not just Jenna, there's a few of you, I'm having some trouble using Mac with this stuff. So I'm going to switch up my curriculum, and there's a very good reason for it. And this is actually, Jenna, don't feel bad because you're using a Mac and Python, or at least Pygame doesn't play well with Mac. The program that we're going to, or the computers that you guys are going to get next year, if you guys continue on with our school, are going to be Chromebooks. The Pygame and that kind of stuff won't work on Chromebooks for sure. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm switching up my curriculum, and I'm going to use Codecademy for now to teach you about Python programming. And then what we'll do is, if we can get into some HTML, then we can get into animations, then we can start building the games. Does that make sense? All right. So Python Codecademy, you can work. You can use it without downloading any Python whatsoever. So you can do this as long as you have internet connection. And all you do, here, I'll show you how to do it. It's very simple. We're going to Google search it. So with that in mind, since I decided this an hour ago, we're really working all of this stuff, I need to redo some of your assignments. I apologize. But I'm going to redo them anyway. And so let's see. We're at google.com, and we're going to go and look up Codecademy. First, spell it right. That would be a good thing to begin with. All right, so on Codecademy, you can learn a whole bunch of different things. I'm already signed in. You'll probably have to build your own account. I want you guys to make your own account. You can make your username and password anything you want. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to check these things. I actually have to not redo the assignments, Sophia, but more build the assignments. I already started working on them right here. I started typing up like my instructions for the assignments, but I've decided to use Codecademy like an hour ago after I've been having so much trouble loading Pygame onto a Mac. And I don't want to have to like mess with you guys. You see what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, well, we're going to do different assignments. Is that cool with everyone? Yeah, and so when you're in Codecademy, you can learn JavaScript, you can learn Ruby, HTML, CSS, Python. We're going to learn Python. And there's so many more things you can learn with Codecademy, but I like this one. Yes, the worksheets that we have scheduled for this week are canceled until I can get all of this thing up. But I'll have that up by the end of tomorrow. Cool? All right. So when you click on Python, you can see that I actually went through about 40% of this curriculum already. And that took me a couple weeks, or not even a couple weeks. That took me like about like a day. Or not a day, but I mean, I just sat down with it 1 day or 2 days last week and just did the whole thing. And we're going to go through the Python program Codecademy, so you have to make your own account and sign in and all that kind of stuff. And today I'm going to take you through some of it, so you'll get kind of your feet wet into this thing. But I'll give you a sense. I'll give you a second. You guys can open your own document or open your own window and make your own Codecademy account. I'll wait for a little bit and let you guys play around with it. So go to Codecademy, make your own account. And while you guys are doing that, I need to tell you guys about something. I just got an email from the principal, and she said that she wants me to run a math class on a Tuesday, March 4th. Okay, where's the link? I'll give it to you right now. Codecademy tracks Python. There we go. Try that one. Check out that link. I know I spammed it, but I mean, that's how I have to give you guys links sometimes. All right, so check out that one. See if it doesn't let you log in, then what you're going to have to do is make your own login account. Create your own account, and we should be, well, I'm going to get started with lesson 1 today. All right, so while I'm waiting for you to create your own account, why don't I let you guys know about this? On March 4th, it's a Tuesday, I'm going to cancel class. Because I'm going to have to teach a math class instead because they're having some kind of special people coming in. So I'll make sure to put that up on the calendar, and I'll also delete that WebEx. But anyway, if your browser's not supported, just use a different browser like Chrome, Google Chrome, or Firefox should work. Yeah, Chrome works really well. What browser are you using if it's not supported? I'm just curious. Are you using like Internet Explorer? Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you switch over to Google Chrome or Firefox, that should work. I'm pretty sure that those things work. All right, we cool? All right, so let's go through the curriculum. So, do we push start? I think so. I don't remember where exactly or what the exactly beginning of this lesson was. I did it a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I'm just going to go to Python lesson 1 or Python syntax. I'll go through with you this lesson, and then basically you can pretty much go through it yourself. But I'll also teach it to you in class. So I mean, you guys can wait around for me, or you guys can work ahead if you want. What you don't know is how to do the assignments, or what I'm going to ask you in your assignments. But it's going to be pretty simple, similar to what I asked you in Code Academy. Am I making sense to everyone, or do you guys understand what we're doing here? If so, say yes, and I want a yes from everybody. That way I can make sure that you guys understand what's going on. All right, Sophia, kind of confused. Can I follow along? Yes, Raven, well, I'm teaching you right now. You can follow along. All right, what about Natalie and Sky and let's see who else? Well, Sarah's been chatting. So, Liana, are you cool with what's going on? Do you understand? All right, how do you download Python? When I'm using Code Academy, you don't need to download Python. You can actually use Python in the website. You don't need to download anything to your computer, and that's why I'm switching over to Code Academy. Does Code Academy show us how to use Python to write codes? Exactly. You can download Python. It's completely free. The problem is the programs I wanted to use when we were doing our own video games or our own arcade games were a little bit confusing if you're using a Mac. And it definitely won't work on a Chromebook, which is what you will be using later. So I just said, okay, fine, we're going to use Code Academy. The test due today. What was the test due today? I forgot. Oh, yeah. I guess I deleted it, didn't I? No, wait. That's for March 4th. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, I deleted it. There's no test today. It's deleted. It's gone. Boom. Gone. Taken care of. Yes, no work due today. I think I had something due there, and I don't remember what it was. Yep, gone. Because we're switching to this new thing that we decided like an hour ago because I've been trying to rack my brain on how to make Pygame work on a Mac, and it just doesn't seem to like working. So I figured I'd switch over to Code Academy. And I haven't had time to actually build the assignments yet. So I'm going to work on that, but while we're working on that, yeah, anyway. You guys can get started on your Code Academy though. Are we cool? So yes, there is nothing due today. In fact, I probably won't make anything due. Actually, don't quote me that. I'll make one thing due this week. Is that fair? All right. And apparently, Vernon just created his account, and he's already on lesson 3. So obviously, this is not like crazy hard stuff. Which I appreciate, Vernon, you doing your work when I'm while I'm talking and whatever, but that's cool. I know that you've coded before, so this should be pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to start you guys off, and we'll look at my computer screen, but you guys can play around with your own computer screen while you're doing it. I'm not going to freak out. I'm on a lesson called Python Syntax, and it's 113. I'm just going to start throwing it out to you. Wait, Nolan is chatting to me. Yes, Nolan is chatting to me. I'm sorry. Sorry for this late assignments this week. I will catch up this week. Cool, Nolan. Is he in class? Dude, they're not in class. Is he even in class? Yeah, he's chatting to me. Why would you be chatting to me? You're not even in class, dude. Anyway. Alright. So, how do we start this game? Well, I don't know why, but it seems to me that every time you start programming something, the first thing you always say is, hello world. I'm sure there's a whole history behind that, but anyway, this says, hello world. See, look, watch. When I ran the program, all I did was instead of pressing run or whatever, you remember what I showed you last time, all you do is you just press save and run, I think, right? It's save and submit code. And then this is what would pop out. So it says, hello world, and then none at the end is saying, well, the program stopped. So when I straight up want to print the words hello world, I say print, quote marks, hello world. And actually, I think this syntax is a little bit slightly different from what we're learning in Program Arcade games, because we need to put that inside of a parentheses. I'm wondering if that will still work. Let's check. Yeah, it looks like it works just the same. So apparently you don't really need those parentheses, but you probably do need the quotation marks. Let's check that. Oh, oops, I accidentally deleted that. Or not deleted that, just went backwards. Do you guys understand what I'm going through here? And in fact, to be honest with you, to learn coding, I just play with it. All right, so I'm printing hello world, no quotation marks, and it's going to be like, wait, what? Hello world is wrong syntax. Syntax, by the way, means the way you type, so apparently it's wrong. So yes, you need the quotation marks. No, apparently you don't need those parentheses that I was telling you earlier that you might need. That was just, extra stuff. All right. It's talking about spam and eggs now. This is cool. Okay, all right, let's go. Start the next lesson. It's pretty straightforward. Now, remember how I told you, by the way, I'm just curious to know, do you guys know who Monty Python is? Have you ever heard of Monty Python? All right, it's not an actual guy. It's actually like a group of people. It's kind of like, I don't know, they're like a group of comedians that would get together and make these funny movies. I'm not saying you need to watch them, but a lot of the jokes in Code Academy are actually from Monty Python. So just to let you know that, if you're wondering, like, what are they talking, why are they talking about spam and knee and 42 and all of that kind of stuff? I'll see if I can give you like YouTube clips to kind of help you with that. Yeah, like what is your favorite color, that kind of stuff. Yeah, totally. In fact, I think that joke is actually in this lesson. So I'll try to give you guys like pop culture references to the Monty Python and what that is so that you can understand the inside jokes as well as code it, and it's actually going to be cool. Let's see what Nolan says about coming to class. Oops, sorry. Got it. That's cool. All right. All right, so check this out. You guys ready? Oh, there we go. Nolan's in class saying LOL to me, actually talking about how he's not in class. What's going on, Nolan? It's cool. Don't worry about it. I caught you. All right, so when we in mathematics, we usually say a variable is x, right? Like x is our variable, right? And we can say something like x equals 5. But in coding, what we can actually do is we can go like even better than that. We can say, instead of calling our unknown one letter, we can use a bunch of letters, like unknown equals 5. But then again, technically, I guess if it were unknown equals 5, it would no longer be unknown, would it? It's 5. So technically it would be known. But then again, whatever. All right, we can say our variable is equal to 5. And that's just the power of programming. So that's all this is saying. It's saying your variable, which we usually call as x in mathematics, we can just call it as my variable. What the advantage of that is you're a little bit more descriptive, right? You can say my variable is 10, as opposed to your variable equals 5. Do you see what I mean? So you can name it whatever you want. Now, I remember going over with you that there's certain like rules or conventions to naming. It's not necessarily hard, fast rules, but it's kind of more like guidelines. Like, for example, you never really want any of your variables to start with a capital letter. That's just bad form, dude. You know what I mean? That just doesn't look cool. So they always have the variables start with a lowercase letter. You also can't have spaces in your variables. Like you can't say my variable equals 10. Because the computer's going to say, well, what equals 10? The word my or the word variable? Or both? You know what I mean? Computers don't really use spaces. So if you want a space in between them, you can use an underscore. Does that kind of make sense to you? So we don't need to repeat that because we already told the computer my variable is 10. All right. Yes, and in fact, this is a good, like, I'm sure you did it the hour of code with Khan Academy. I'm basically doing Code Academy, which is kind of similar to the thing. In fact, I think that everyone should learn how to code a little bit on computers, so that's what we're doing. Wait a second, you have to program in Minecraft? Like, you actually have to program stuff? Yes, a little bit, maybe? Huh. Minecraft just became a lot cooler than I thought. I'm gonna start playing Minecraft. Alright, so now look, check this out. We set up our variable, we told the computer, hey, our variable is 10. But if we just did that, and just that alone, if we just said my variable is 10, it wouldn't do anything. The computer wouldn't be like, anything. I don't care. So what? You set your variable to 10. So later on, we want to print 10 to the computer screen over here. So what we can do is we can tell the computer, okay, after I told you what my variable is, I want you to print what it is to the screen. And that's why a 10 appears over here. Does that make sense to you? Am I making sense through this lecture? We cool? Alright, Booleans. Booleans are pretty straightforward. Alright, so Boolean is... I don't get this at all. Sarah, all I'm doing is I'm going through the first lesson. Alright, Sarah, did you make a Code Academy? Code Academy. Did you make a Code Academy username and password and account? Yeah, account. Okay. Sarah, when you make an account, I want you to learn Python. And then after you start learning Python, all of these things will have an X in it, or I guess blue arrow-looking thing in it. And I want you to start going through these lessons. And all I'm doing with you is going through with you the first lesson to kind of give you kind of a heads up on how to do it. It's pretty straightforward. In fact, all the instructions are in there. You just read through it. Does that make sense? So that's where we're at. In fact, I'm on lesson number 3, I think, Booleans. What are Booleans? All right. What about, what's hard to explain? Java? Is that what you're talking about, Nolan? No. Okay, never mind. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All right, anyway, I'm going to move on to lesson number 3. Dude, why can't I move on to lesson number 3? Or whatever. Save and submit, save and submit. And the computer is thinking, Can you do booleans? What do you mean booleans? Or I mean, what do you mean? Can I do them? I'm a little confused with what you're asking me to do. All right. Here's what a boolean is, and a boolean is very easy to remember. All it is the word true or false. That's what a boolean is. A boolean is like a light switch. It's either on or off. It's either true or false. And we use, the words we use for that is just capital TRUE or capital FALSE. Does that make sense? Now there's different types of variables that we want to talk about. One of them is called an integer. Do you guys, I mean, what is an integer? It's pretty straightforward. Like the number 7 or the number, yeah, it's a whole number. It's a number that doesn't have a decimal attached to it. All right, now apparently the computer distinguishes between integers and floats. That's what they call them, float, my float. And a float is actually just a number with a decimal after it. So it's a number that's not an integer. That's pretty straightforward, right? So you have integers, which are just integers, obviously, and floats, which are just numbers, really, but they're not integers. Okay, fine. And we also set up a boolean, which is really just the word true or false. That's all that variable is. It's not a number. I mean, it could be a number. I guess you can say true is 1 and false is 0 and then just have that as your boolean. But yeah, it's just true or false. What does true mean? Well, if it's I don't know, true, then it's true. How do I explain that? What does true or false mean? I guess the question is, how do we use it in computer programming? Is that what you're asking? How do we use true or false statements in computer programming? Okay, here. A computer really only thinks in terms of true or false. It only has, like, if you've ever seen actual computer, like not actual computer code, because I mean what we're doing is actually computer coding. But I mean, if you've ever seen like the root version of computer code, you can there's either a 1 or a 0. If you've seen the Matrix, all they have is 1s and 0s going down there. And that's what it is. And a 1 means true and a 0 means false. And so a computer looks at something and says, okay, it's either true or false, and that's all it makes these decisions on. So that's why a Boolean is so important to computer science and computer mathematics. You see what I mean? Can we go? Yes, Victoria, you can totally go at your own pace as long as it's at or faster than my pace. And I'll tell you what, when I went through this, I went through 44% of the thing in like 3 days, 2 days or something like that. So you can go through the whole thing as fast as you want, as long as you don't go slower than mine, because I'm asking you to do like 3 a day, and I finished like 24 of them in like 3 days. No, I'm asking you to do like 3 a week. So totally enough time to do this stuff. We cool? My goal here is, here's what the plan is for the rest of this quarter. I want you to learn a little programming, because I think that that's super important. And I also want to prepare you for the Explore test coming up. It's like the ACT. Do you guys remember when we went over ACT questions? This was way back when. Well, I'm going to go over with you them again so that you can, and it's one of those, it's that thing where you don't even have to know the science, you just have to read the questions and answer the problems. Anyway, I'll go over it with you again, an Explore Practice ACT test, our lesson. And that's what we're going to do for the rest of this quarter. And what are we going to do for fourth quarter? It's going to be amazing. We're going to work on just awesome science lab projects that we can work on. I'm not even going to do it like a lecture every, 2 lectures a day or whatever. We're just going to do like, hey, we're going to build science stuff. And we're going to actually like make these awesome things. And we're also going to study for the HSA for those of you who didn't pass. But besides that, we're not going to be it's going to be super fun. Actually, it all should be super fun. I hope you have super fun. All right. 3 of what? What are you talking about, 3? Oh, I'm talking about this quarter. The quarter ends on March, whenever spring break is. I think it's March 14th or March 13th or something like that. And then you have spring break and then you have fourth quarter. So I'm just giving you a foreshadow of what's coming up for the next couple of weeks. We cool? All right. So, in this lesson right here, it teaches you the idea of being able to reassign something. You can tell the computer, the computer, hey, my integer is 7. And then you say, no, later on I changed my mind. And instead of saying, okay, I want you to delete 7 and I want you to put in the number 3, all you got to do is say, okay, my integer is now 3, or just my integer equals 3. And then what the computer does is it says, oh, I'm going to take out 7 and make it 3. Does that make sense? You change it. That's all you do. You don't have to go back and change it. You can just say my new integer is 3. In fact, what if I did this, though? What would happen? Thank you, Liana. No, it wouldn't be valid. It wouldn't be valid. What would happen? It would... Okay. Well, in that case, you've set up 2 different variables. My integer, or my int would equal 7. And then you can say my inte is equal to 3. And so the computer is memorizing 2 different things. It says, okay, apparently he wants my int equals to 7 and my int equal to 3. Does that kind of make sense? I mean, I could print my int, and then what will pop up on the screen? It will pop up 7 and 3. Does that make sense? Right, because this is 7 and this is 3. They're 2 separate things. But if I did this, where I made them the exact same name, then it would change the int from 7 to 3, and that's it. Boom, you're done. There we go. Congratulations. Moving on to the next section. We cool with this? All right. So check this out. You guys ready for this? In some coding languages, space bars don't matter. In this coding language, however, space bars do matter. Yes, and the B word was Booleans. I think it's Boolians or Leans. Booleans. I don't know why it's called Booleans. Anyway, here's the spam and eggs, which actually you should probably be a fan of, because I mean we're Hawaii. We love spam. Anyway, all right. So spaces do matter. Now you don't need to understand what this code is saying, but let me just show you. It does nothing. This code is like, what is going on? I don't understand, because there's not the right amount of space bars. So all I'm saying here is make sure you are being careful with your space bars, okay? Or your tab, when you press the tab button. That does make a difference when you program things. Cool? Or at least when you program in Python. So apparently when we're doing this define command, which is different from print, which is something different than we've seen. And they don't go into exactly what it does for now. Just know that the space bars make a difference. And I'll go into more detail of what that means. Okay. So, a matter of interpretation. The window on the top right-hand corner of the page is called Interpreter. And they want me to, and I'm not sure, this is from when I did it before, but they want me to assign true value to the variable spam. Okay, variable is spam. It's not X, it's spam. Fine, spam. Equals true. There we go, that's it. You want eggs to equal false. There we go. Spam equals true, eggs equal false. I have no idea what we're going to do with this. It seems very weird, I'm sure, but I did exactly what they asked me to. Voila, move on to the next one. We cool? Now, I don't know whether or not you've noticed this, but if you've looked at the previous lessons, you see the pound symbol. Have you guys noticed that when I started using the pound symbol? I don't know even know if I went over this before. Anyway, the hashtag, I guess. That's basically a comment. It basically means the computer will, or at least the Python program will look at that and say, ignore that. And really what that's used for is more as a, it's more for humans to read than computers to read. And all it does is it helps you keep notes as to what's going on. So I can say, this is where I set up my variable to equal 42. And see, you guys can read this, humans can read that and say, oh, I get it. That's where he's setting up his variable to equal 42. And then the computer only sees mysterious variable equals 42. You see what I mean? So these are more notes for us. So whenever you have a pound symbol in front of your command, the computer will skip over that and it will, just run this stuff. It's used for, like, I use hashtags a lot, mainly to kind of keep track of where I'm at and what I'm doing. And it's also used to help me organize things or to help me explain to someone what I did when I programmed it. Does that make sense? All right. You could have a big thing, a big comments line, and just say, well, we can say anything we want. As long as it's in the 3 quotation marks, nothing here will appear on the screen. However, I could say print hello, and then the computer will print the word hello, but the part where it says nothing here will appear on the screen, well, it won't print on the screen. We cool? And for those of you who are interested, here's the Holy Grail reference for Monty Python because it's funny and that kind of stuff. I'll make sure to shoot out the YouTube video so that you guys can understand what's going on when we talk about Monty Python, because I know that that doesn't make sense. But anyway. All right. Can we do math on Python? Yes, we can. So you can just do math straightforward. Like, for example, let's do some addition. You just add a plus sign. We'll just do some subtraction. You do a minus sign. Let's do a time symbol. This asterisk sign. Let's do the divide. It's the backslash. Yeah. So you can build a calculator. Now, here's the thing is, why would we use programming to build a calculator when we could use a calculator that's already built for us? I totally agree with your question, Raven. Why should I care? Right? Is that what you're asking? Yes. And here's the thing. With programming, you can actually build the calculators. And it's not just the satisfaction. It's with programming, see, calculators are limited to one thing. It's limited to working with numbers. Does that make sense? Calculators are limited to working with numbers. Whereas programming is, you can work with words and data and pull all of this stuff in, and you can work with numbers and that kind of stuff. So it's actually much more powerful. You can make video games using programming. You can kind of do that with calculators as long as you have a programmable calculator and it's a good enough thing. But it won't, like, it's not as good. So, anyway. Alright, let's see. Exponents. How do you do exponents? Now, I would assume that the one way to do it is you would use a caret. However, apparently that doesn't work. In fact, somehow the caret gave us an 8. What? Did it think that it's 10 minus 2? Is that what's going on? No, what? I don't understand how it gave us an 8. But in order to use exponents, well, you would use the double time symbol. Okay, wait. In order to do exponents, you would use the double time symbol. And that's what it would look like. Or, yeah, the double asterisk. So, Asterix. I think it ends with a K. Are we cool with that? Can you get the link for what? You're talking about Code Academy? Oh, it's simple. You just open up a window and type in Code Academy into the search bar. It's the first thing that pops up. And then you log in, make your own account, and you want to start learning Python. That's it. Yeah, I know, it's 12:20. Doesn't class usually finish at 12:30? Well, I'll tell you what, apparently I'm on lesson 12 of 13, so give me a second. Let me just finish it off. Because apparently I only have like one more slide to go through. All right, modulo. Modulo? I don't know. Modulo. All right. Modulo is like, remember when you guys were learning like division for the first time in like 3rd grade? And you guys like if I asked you as a 3rd grader, like, what is 7 divided by 2? What would you say? What is 7? 7 divided by 2. Yeah, you wouldn't say that in 4th grade. I mean 3rd grade. You would say, oh, it's 3 with remainder 1. Right? It's 3 remainder 1. That's what you would say back in the old school days. If I asked you 7 divided by 2, you would say 3 remainder 1. Because 2 can go into 7 3 times, 1 left over. Are we cool? So, what we have in computer programming is this idea of modulus, and basically it's like, let's see. We can just say mod is equal to 7% 2. And that percent symbol right there is kind of like saying, what is the remainder of 7 divided by 2? And what should print out, if I print mod, the computer's not going to like this, but I'm going to do it, is 1. That makes total sense. Because it's a 1 left over. Or what if I did this? What if I did like, I don't know, 3, and what if I put a 9 there? What would happen? What would mod print out? Nope, none of you guys are. There we go. Lucas is right. 0? Really? How'd you get 0? Well, because remember what it's asking is, this is not a divide symbol. This is a modulus symbol. This is what is the remainder, what is left over when I divide 9 divided by 3? Well, 3 goes into 9 very nicely, so there's nothing left over, so therefore the thing that should pop out is 0. That's cool. And what's crazy is apparently I didn't even do the assignment, and they told me, congratulations, you finished. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't finish anything. I'm just showing you guys all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, what if I put in an 11 here? What would be the modulus of that? Two, exactly. And therefore you have a 2 there. Is Code Academy a part of this thing that Nolan keeps talking about, the hour of code in Khan Academy? And the answer is, I think that the Khan Academy likes using Code Academy. Or at least I think that they're good friends with each other. They have tea every so often. So therefore, if you've done the hour of code in Khan Academy, it should probably look very similar to what we're going to be doing in Code Academy. However, I don't think that everyone here went through an hour of code, so I want you guys to be introduced to coding and that kind of stuff in your science class. I know. It's pretty cool like that. All right, let's do a review, and you just basically do what they ask. They say,
Set the word Monty to equal to true, set Python equal to 1.234, and set Monty Python equal to Python squared. Interesting. Okay, fine. I did it. There we go. Are we cool with that? And you just finished lesson 1. It's pretty straightforward. Then you can move on to lesson 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. And I think I have you guys finishing 3 sections a week. I think I might want to amp that up a little bit more to like 4 sections a week or 5 sections a week. Just because, I mean, think about it. We went through lesson 1 together in about an hour. Not even an hour. In less than an hour. In 45 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Please do 3. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about you want me to keep it at 3. All right, fine. I'll try to do that, but I'm going to add some stuff about ACT prep onto my plan, so it's not just going to be just those 3. All right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not something what I wrote for section 13. All right, I'm not sure what's wrong with your section number 13. Okay, Victoria, what are sections? These are sections right here. This is lesson 1. Here's lesson 2. Oops. Lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4. Apparently there's only 21 until you've mastered Python. And we just went through 1 in 40 minutes. In fact, we went through 1 in 40 minutes because I spent all that time explaining it to you, so it should be even less time. That's kind of the way I roll. All right, yes, we are done. Jenna, send me a question on that. Actually, fine, I'll take a look at number 13 for you and see what's wrong with it. Bringing it all together. Is this kind of what you did for it? Does it kind of look like that? Yeah, it didn't ask me to print anything. So this is what I did for number 13. Yes, Liana, put up your algebra questions and I will try to answer them in the next 3 minutes. But I have to go, so you have to be respectful of that. And I'm going to do my best talking about what's going on. All right, I'll see you guys later. We are done with class. Go. Get out of here. Get out of my hair. Let's see. Liana, I thought you were going to ask me a question. Where's your algebra question? What are the rectangle sections or the bold headings? Let's see. Actually, I think they're the same thing, right? Spell correctly, Mr. Dalday. Like type correctly, that would help. That's interesting. I was at 44% before, but now apparently I'm at 43%. I guess I got worse. Oh, now I'm at 44%. They're the same thing, Victoria. The rectangles are highlighting the boxes, the bold parts, which brings you to the same thing. You click on the rectangle, you click on the box, or the bold council things. Oh, are you talking about like, is this section 1, and is this section 2? And is this section 3? Is that what you're saying? I see. I'm sorry. I was wrong. No, I'm going to call each of these sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4. All of that kind of stuff. Oh, okay, Liana. If you were to put algebra in Code Academy, would it answer it? And the answer is yes. In fact, you could probably build... I've been watching you guys in how you guys have been doing your math problems, and I actually think that if I teach you coding, it will help you cheat on your math tests. Yeah, I said it. And it's on recording too. So, learn coding. Booyah. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.